Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Dara Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Lalita Vishaka, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Lalita Vishaka, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Kantraj Srimad Bhagavad-Gita ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Ho. Many of you guessed we have a full page of Sanskrit. Who can read it? Somebody put it there. I didn't. Okay, now it's better. So we have 5 verses today to cover. We'll see how much we can have for discussion. But topic is really interesting. You know why? Who knows the layers of chapters in Bhagavad-Gita? By 6, by 6, by 6. Middle was 6, bhakti-yoga, right? And now what's going on? Jnana again. Why? There's such a sweetness, you know. We could have finished, you know. This is the most sweet. Okay, done, finished. Yeah, we have some interesting question to cover why it is. And at the end of the class, I will have a small exam for you. You will have to able to give me a whole Bhagavad Gita review summary in 1 sentence. It's a huge task, right? And it will consist of 5 elements. So be careful. They'll be appearing covered in the inside of class. So that's the whole idea. Okay, let's pray our obeisances and prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So how many times I have to repeat? I guess I just read line by line, 1 time, and should be enough. Amanvitam adambitvam ahimsa kshanti marjavam acharyopasanam saucham stharyam atma vinigraha indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam asaktir anabhishvanga putradareshu putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachitvam ishtanopapatishu maichananya yogena bhaktirvya avyabhicharini Vivekta desha sevitvam Aratirjanna samsadi Adhyatma jnana nityatvam Tattva jnanartha darshanam Etajjanam iti proktam Ajnanam yad atonyatha. We did it. Who next?
Amanityam dadittam ahimsa.
Amanityam
Ahimsa kshantirarjavam.
Ahimsa kshantimarjavam.
Acharyopasanam saucham.
Acharyopasanam saucham.
Stairyam vinigraha.
Stairyam vinigraha.
Indriyarteshu vairagyam.
Indriyarteshu vairagyam.
Anahankara evacha.
Anahankara evacha.
Janma mrityu jara vyadhi.
Janma mrityu jara vyadhi.
Dukkha dosanu darshanam.
Dukkha dosanu darshanam.
Asakti visvanga.
Asaktirana visvanga.
Putradara grihadishu.
Puttradara grihadishu.
Nityam cha samatatvam.
Nityanatamatatvam.
Ishami anishtopapatishu.
Ishtanupapapattishu.
Maichananya yogena.
Maicanya yogena.
Bhaktirabhyacharini.
Bhaktirvavyabicharini.
Vivikta desha savitvam.
Vivikta desha sevitvam.
Arati jana sansati.
Arati jana samsadi.
Adhyatma jnana nityatvam.
Adhyatma
Jnana nityatvam.
Tattva jnana artha darshanam.
Tattva jnata darshanam.
Etad jnanamiti pruktam.
Etat jnanamiti proktam.
Ajnanamajatto anyatha.
Jnana prata anyata. Maharaji's. No, don't have to. Okay, that's enough. Synonyms will be one by one. Practically will be almost same as the translation. But let's do it. So we connect those two things, the Sanskrit and the English. Amamitvam.
Amanitvam.
Humility.
Humility.
Adhambitvam.
Adambitvam.
Pridelessness.
Pridelessness.
Ahimsa.
Ahimsa.
Nonviolence.
Nonviolence.
Kshanti.
Shanti.
Tolerance.
Tolerance.
Arjavam.
Arjavam.
Simplicity.
Simplicity.
Acharya upasanam.
Acharya upasanam.
Approaching a bona fide spiritual master.
Approaching a bona fide spiritual master.
Shaucham.
Shaucham.
Cleanliness.
Cleanliness.
Stairyam.
Stairyam.
Steadfastness.
Steadfastness.
Atma vinigraha.
Atma vinigraha.
Self-control.
Self-control.
Indriya artheshu.
Indriyateshu.
In a matter of the senses.
In the matter of senses.
Vairagyam.
Vairagyam.
Renunciation.
Renunciation.
Anahankara.
Anahankara.
Being without false egoism.
Without false egoism.
Eva.
Eva.
Certainly.
Certainly.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Janma.
Janma.
Of birth.
Of birth.
Mrityu.
Mrityu.
Death.
Death.
Jara.
Jara.
Old age.
Old age.
Vyadhi.
Vyadhi.
And disease.
And disease.
Dukkha.
Dukkha.
Of the distress.
Of the distress.
Dosha.
Dosha.
The fault.
Fault.
Anudarshanam.
Darshanam.
Observing.
Observing.
Asakti.
Asakti.
Without being without attachment.
Being without attachment.
Anabhivanga abanishvanga. Being without association.
Being without association.
Putra.
Putra.
For the son.
For son.
Dara.
Dara.
Wife.
Wife.
Griha adeshu.
Adishu.
Home, etc.
Home address.
Nityam.
Nityam.
Constant.
Constant.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Samachittat. Samachittatvam, equilibrium. Ishta, the desirable. Anishta, and undesirable. Upapattishu, having obtained. Mai, unto me. Cha, also. Ananya yogena, by unalloyed devotional service. Bhakti, devotion. Avyabhicharini, without any break. Vivikta, to solitary. Desha, places. Sevitvam, aspiring. Arati, actually it's not arati, which is usually, but arati, without being attachment. Janasamsadi, to people in general. Adhyatma, pertaining to the self. Jnana, in knowledge. Nityatvam, constantly. Tattva jnana, of knowledge of the truth. Artha, for the object. Darshanam, philosophy. Etat, all this. Jnanam, knowledge. Iti, thus. Proktam, declared. Agyanam, ignorance. Yat, that which. Ada, from this. Anyata, other. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He's looking very serious at us today. Extremely serious. Humility, pridelessness. We can count. How, who knows how many by number? 20, exactly. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of the birth, death, old age and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with a children, wife, a home and a rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in solitary place, detachment from general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for absolute truth. All these I declare to be a knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. Whew, very harsh words. Purport. This process of knowledge is sometimes misunderstood by less intelligent man as being the interaction of the field of activity. I think the first sentence already asks for clarification. Why knowledge is understood to be interaction of field of activity? Who understand what is field of activity? In Sanskrit? Kshetra. Yeah. So kshetra is what? Basically, in the very beginning of Bhagavad-Gita, we know 5 subjects of Bhagavad-Gita. This is?
Prakriti, Ajeev, Prakriti, Kal, Karma.
Yeah. So what is kshetra? Prakriti. Prakriti. This is actually 24 elements. There'll be later, Prabhupada says, this is nothing to do with 24 elements, something different. So we think that these 24 elements interact, and then the result becomes knowledge. And it's kind of true, because in these 24 elements, what is the subtle ones? Mind, intelligence. So we think because we are intelligent, because we have a mind, we think we have knowledge, which is completely not supported here, right? The householder think, because I have a wife and children, now suddenly I become huge expert in family life and raising up children. Is it true or not? Does it say that if you have a child, now you become suddenly, without education, the expert in raising and educating a child? Of course not. That's why Vedic system is, you give your child to the Gurukul. If you're smart enough. If you're not, you try to rise yourself, but then usually these are not brahmanas. Just, cobblers and whatever people just learn the things. Anyways, the whole thing is just every sentence. I pointed out the things that in a bold and a red and a blue, which one is important things. But if you do every sentence like this, we'll be going for 2 hours. So I have to read more. Sorry. But actually, this is the real process of knowledge. If one accepts this process, then the possibility of approaching absolute truth exists. The process. Usually we think knowledge is a thing which you obtain. But actually knowledge means process. You know this term, vastutraya? 3 elements? Sambandha, Bidaya, Prayojana, right? So Sambandha actually include everything. If we read the whole Bhagavad-Gita from one end to other end, and it will be about the field, about the Lord, about devotion, about the goal even. It's nothing to do with goal, it's still Sambandha. So Sambandha knowledge includes a knowledge about goal. And includes a knowledge about process, but doesn't mean you apply it. So at the end of Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna asks, I told you everything, you understood, you ready to apply? If not, I'm gonna ready to tell it again. Right? So actually knowledge includes everything. About self, about Lord, about the process, about the goal. But it's still parts of Sambandha Jnana. We have to understand that. That's important. So if you approach this process, then possibility of approaching absolute truth, which is covered, in brackets, actually approaching God or Krishna, exists. This is not interaction of 24 elements as described before. Just previous verse, there was Prabhupada describing all these 24 elements, by the way. This is the actual means to get out of entanglement of those elements. The embodied soul is entrapped by the body. Anybody of you feel entrapped? Oh, it feels natural. It feels so natural. It's a perfect prison. We feel so comfortable. We don't even get out. We think it's so nice. By the way, I was serving in the Russian army, and I was guarding prison with a dog. And when you talk to those inmates, sometimes they have this crazy idea that they think, I will get out, but I'm still already sitting in a prison. I'm planning which kind of criminal act I will perform so I get back it in a better condition. Really? I was there for almost 2 years, 1.5 years. So it's true. Yeah, it's a prison. So we have to get out of those entanglements. So embody is trapped in a body which is casing made of 24 elements. And the process of knowledge, as described here, is meant to get out of it. Of all the descriptions of the process of knowledge, the most important point is described in the first line of the 11th verse, which is that Mai chananya yogena bhaktir avibhicharini. So yeah, this is most important. Actually, the whole Bhagavad-Gita has so far been leading to that, because in the beginning was what the first line, first idea, activity, karma yoga, right? So next one was, who remember after karma? Jnana, knowledge. The next one was something without attachment. You have to do it, you have to act, you have to have knowledge, but you have to also do it without attachment. Is Nishkam Kama Yoga. Then next stage was think of me, right? You think of me. But there was also, not directly in the verse, but in commentaries, Prabhupada said, Kamsa was also thinking of Krishna. It's not good enough. You have to do it for Krishna as you like. So these is 5 stages. I'm giving hint about the exam at the end. 5. So, get out of it. All descriptions, this process of knowledge terminates in unalloyed devotional service of the Lord. Terminate means ends. This is the ultimate end of any knowledge. So if one does not approach or is able to approach the transcendental service of the Lord, then the other 19 items are no particular value. This is kind of cutting off, like really, this element, purity doesn't have a value. There's so many people which are extremely pure, clean. Go to Germany, those roads are so clean, squeaky clean. Japan, you can walk in, I don't know Korea, but Japan, you can walk in the shoes, the socks, and no dust there. Like, okay, we have a special dust. We have a bread dust. It's different. But if one takes to the devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, the other 19 items automatically develop within him. Not exactly automatically. If you put potatoes in the water, they cook automatically? They do. But you look. So enough big fire, the water doesn't run out, otherwise you don't cook, you fry them. So many things. But still the process going on. But there's some kind of, you start it and it goes. It doesn't mean it completely happens without your surveillance. Automatically means something happening, but you still survive and look, everything goes fine. So all these other items will be coming to your life, but you still have to see that they are coming. If you become devotee in none of those things, you don't become cleaner, you don't become all these other items, then you're actually not following the process. This is part of it. They dependent. Bhakti gives the power to those other elements. Same like Krishna gives the beauty to the ornaments. Ornaments by themselves are beautiful, but Krishna makes them even more beautiful. So if you take ornaments off, he's still beautiful, right? He's a cowboy. He can be beautiful without ornaments. Bhakti can be without that. If there is these additional things, makes more attractive to the people around you. They understand you're a devotee. If you're completely dirty, I don't know, like even Vyasa there with the hairs, like Shiva and Da, ashes, you don't understand. So that's why so many misunderstandings. So many people offend Shiva because he's like out of appearance. So if you see Prabhupada, he was paka, pure, clean, properly behaved. So, devotional service, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 5:18-12, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavat akinchana sarvayata gunaya tatra samasate sura. All the good qualities of knowledge develop in one who has attained the stage of devotional service. The principle of accepting spiritual master, as mentioned in the 8th verse, is essential. So one who is completely gives life to others, without that is nonsense. But from other points, this is essential. There's devotees who are realized, like Shukadeva, he was realized straight away, from previous life. He didn't want to have any guru, just walked off, He doesn't need guru. But the guru, his father, he knew how to protect him, right? So this is very important, accepting spiritual master. The principle of accepting his master mentioned in it was essential even for one who takes to the devotional service is most important. Transcendental life begins when one accepts a bona fide spiritual master. What is before? There's chanting, there's reading, there's serving deities, associating with devotees. This is not devotional service? It is? So you don't agree with Prabhupada? He says it starts. begins when accepting spiritual master. Actually, you accept spiritual master at any stage. You just don't know. Even the karmis, they go to university, they accept professor. They don't put in the names guru or parampara or something, but the idea of the principle, how to receive knowledge is always there. When you just get born, you accept your father and mother as gurus straight away, just like first seconds, how to breathe, The small baby is lying next to mother and he's catching the heartbeats. He even, if he's a little bit worried, he just listens to the heartbeats of mother. He's already guru, how to properly be calm, be pacified just by listening of breathing and the heartbeat of mother. So we have gurus straight away. Not so many spiritual, although Krishna is in one heart and Krishna is the other heart, so there's exchanges happening on. There's some spirituality, not so much devotion to Krishna, a conscious one, but there is. So it is important. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, clearly states here that this process of knowledge is an actual path. Anything speculated beyond this is nonsense. As for knowledge outlined here, the items may be analyzed as follows. So now we'll be having analyzation of those items. All 20 of them. Humility, number 1, right? Means that one should not be anxious to have satisfaction of being honored by others. It's kind of connected, they are dual, honor and humility, they connect to each other. The material conception of life makes us very eager to receive honor from others. But from point of view of the man in a perfect knowledge who knows but he is not the body, anything honor or dishonor pertaining to the body is useless. What about if somebody gives you honor because you are a spiritual soul? Is okay? That type of honor is okay or not okay? Come on. Everybody wants honor. Prabhupada says that everybody wants honor. But if somebody gives you on a basis of body, that's not needed. But if Radharani teaches you how to play and how to sing, and you do it for Krishna, and everybody is clapping, it's good. It is perfect. This is what we want. So we want spiritual honor, which doesn't make you puffed up. It actually, you understand, you've been valued and you've been trained, your qualification been appreciated. One should not be hankering after this material deception. This honor is deception. Somebody's cheating. If you want to make somebody, do something good, you just say some good words and it's so nice. Okay, I'll do something for you, right? You just give him the prizes such a way. Deception. People are very anxious to be famous for their religion, and constantly sometimes it is found that without understanding the principle of religion, one enters into some group which is not actually following religious principles, and then one wants to advertise himself as a religious mentor. This is very heavy stuff, because Prabhupada said if you want a religion, you need two things. You need supreme and you need selfless service. If you have any nonsense but you have these two elements, you can make up any religion. It's like if you want to make a good book, you need two things. You need a romance and chivalry, like musketeers, There's a love and there's a, real good guys, who understand the meaning of life, Not real, but they know, they have some conduct, they're proper. So that will make perfect story. So religion means there is a supreme being, something supreme, not being, but something supreme, and selfless service. So this will be making any religion. So if you don't follow properly, you'll be advertising as a religious mentor, but actually you're not. As for actual advancement in the spiritual science, one should have a test to see how far he is progressing. He can judge by these items which are listed, If they are not developing, then there is no bhakti, because bhakti is very, very deep. in a teacher's training course, we have this simple point. By the end of class, somebody should be able to say or write down during 5 minutes without looking at the notes or something like that. You know, the conditions and what you should do. If you say, oh, my students will be able to appreciate devotion. How you can judge? You appreciate devotion or not? You have to be able to act accordingly. If you appreciate idea of discipleship that you have, you straight away, after class finishes, you go looking for guru. Straight away, you know, where's my guru, where's my guru? Because the idea is there. I have to have a guru, so I have looking for. But for us, like, not, you don't want to run everybody all directions after class. We need some tests. So I already gave the sentence, which is 5 ideas. That means 5 levels of Bhagavad-Gita. First was jnana, karma, jnana, nishkama. Then there's a dhyana, meditation, and finally bhakti. So why these 5 elements are basic. If you know, then you have a full plan for your life. You do activity. You don't do it whimsically, because then it's akarma. You have to do according to the scriptures. That means duty. What is meant for you, what is according to your nature. Then you do as a knowledge, understanding what you do. Otherwise you do something, but you understand. So every time when you do something, understanding, it gives a much higher result. Then you have to have detachment. That's the hardest part. You do it because you want to have results, but you would give results to selfless. It's not stage 2 of the devotion. So this is number 3, detachment. Nishkam karma. And then you do meditation on whom? Of course, on Krishna. And finally, you not just meditate, but you actually do those previous things for his pleasure. So these are 5 elements of Bhagavad-Gita in one sentence. So, next point. Non-violence is generally taken to mean not killing or destroying the body. But actually, non-violence means not to put others into distress. There's so-called domestic violence, right? Nobody is hurt. There's no blue things in the body, but you completely feel violated emotionally. So that's what is this not giving others distress. And this is also kshatriya. Kshatriya doesn't mean he protects the body. Kshatriya also protects your emotional state, which is quite high. Not every kshatriya. Mostly kshatriyas, they're just weapons, you know, and you just see weapons and you straight away feel the stress by seeing kshatriya. It's kind of like contradictory. People in general are trapped by ignorance in the material concept of life, and they perpetually suffer material pains. So unless one elevates people to the spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. This is extremely unusual, and for those non-violent folks, you know, ahimsa guys, this is one thing. Unless you actually give spiritual knowledge, you're still committing violence. Sweet words. Hi, how are you? It's violence. Believe it or not? Because you don't ask, how are your spiritual life? You say, how are you? And you mean body. That's violence. Every time, next time you think, oh, I'm so violent by asking nicely, how are you? That's violence. Put it here. I'm a very violent person. How are you? One should try his best to distribute real knowledge to the people so that they maybe become enlightened and leave this material entanglement. That is non-violence. Number 4, tolerance means that one should be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. Yeah, not easy. Christianity, tolerance. If one is engaged in an advancement of spiritual knowledge, I thought it's a preaching, but it's coming preaching, just in a second. There will be so many insults and much dishonor from others. Why? Because people don't want. You go to a restaurant and you show them booklet, how to fast. How many people will be taking, booklet? You know? It's not going to be easy. People came to enjoy in this life, and you come advertise how to be renounced. How many takers? Not so much. Unless you show, I'm so fit. I've been fasting. Like, okay, I give it up. Let's go out. So this is expected because material nature is so constituted. Even a boy like Prahlad, who was only 5 years old, was engaged in the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, was endangered when his father became antagonistic to his devotion. The father tried to kill him in so many ways, but Prahlada tolerated him. So there may be many impediments to making advancement in spiritual knowledge, but we should be tolerant and continue our progress with determination. There was this extremely nice story about, just few words, it was Narada Muni, and he was somehow met Ravana, and they started like easy, but then the whole thing exaggerated, and then finally Ravana tried to kill Narada, and he was just like swishing his sword, and nothing happened. It just go through him. Narada was just like laughing, my body is spiritual. I don't care at all, but because you were trying to kill me, now you have to suffer. And he cursed him. So same thing as a Prahlad Maharaj. Simplicity means that without diplomacy, one should be so straightforward that he can disclose a real truth even to enemy. That's not easy, but simple, yeah. It's straightforward. No duplicity, not like I'm telling you one truth and another truth. Truth is always one truth. So whoever it is, friend or enemy, you disclose it. But you have to do it in buttery way, so he's not disturbed. The truth has to be in a palatable form. So even the enemy will accept it. Number 6. Woohoo! As for acceptance of spiritual master, this is an important point. That is essential, because without the instructions of bona fide spiritual master, one cannot progress in a spiritual science. I'm not going to ask you why. You all know why. You know why? Why spiritual master? Because he has devotion, we don't. He has received devotion either from Krishna directly or from other devotee. So this is parampara. You can run around and read all the books, but final acceptance will come from spiritual master and from Krishna with personal approach. It's like your exam. You can pass all your papers, but final exam will be given eye to professor. He will say, okay, now you're a doctor, we accept you. Now you're a professor as well. Now we are pals. Now we are friends. Yeah, somebody have to accept you. Without acceptance, nothing happens. One should approach the spiritual master with all humility and offer him all services so that he will be pleased and bestow his blessings upon the disciple. Because bona fide spiritual master is the representative of Krishna. If he bestows any blessings upon his disciple, that will make the disciple immediately advanced without the disciples following the radical principles. Woohoo! You want to follow radical principles? No. Why? I have Guru. He'll give me blessings, right? Immediately, right? If he's happy. It's true. Because if he's happy, Krishna is happy, and everything happens because of that. But usually, next sentence, or regular principles will be easier for one who is serving spiritual master without reservation. Number 7, cleanliness is essential for making advancement in spiritual life. There are 2 kinds of cleanliness, external and internal. External cleanliness means taking a bath, but for internal cleanliness, one has to think of Krishna always. Is it enough? It was number 4 element of 5, remember? Thinking of Krishna. Is it enough? Maybe our real Kamsas, we think of Krishna 24/7. Not enough. Think of Krishna always and chant Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, If this thinking of Krishna will be perfect, then next sentence is not needed. But next sentence says, this process will clean the accumulated dust from past karma from the mind. So when you think of Krishna, then cleansed mind, cleansed heart will be pure, and you'll do it for Krishna, not for himself. What's the definition? Kama is doing for yourself and Prem doing for Krishna, right? So that will be perfect. Clean heart, thinking of Krishna will be perfect. Unclean heart, kamsa. Number 8, steadiness means one should be very determined to make progress in a spiritual life. Without such a determination, one cannot make tangible progress. Yeah, you start and you like you drive a car, like boom, 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 boom. You go 1 meter there and 2 meters back. You have to be like very slow. Like a tortoise. Like not like rabbit. Bing, bing, jumping all the directions. Just go slowly but steady. Self-control, number 9, means that one should not accept anything which is detrimental to the path of spiritual progress. Prabhupada gives very unusual meanings that connect so many things. One should become accustomed to this and reject anything which is against the path of spiritual progress. You have to understand. The number 3 element was, right? 3, understanding. No, number 2. You do your duty, and number 2, you do with understanding. Because if you do things with understanding, you don't know. Maybe you do something wrong. You have doubts and they always stop doing. So you have to be understanding these things. Otherwise you'll go against. Number 10, the real renunciation. This is real renunciation. The senses are so strong that they are always anxious to have sense gratification on their own. It feels like real. That's life. That's not life. It is still gross, dead matter. 24 elements. There is no life, no consciousness. Because the living being, the soul, reflects the spiritual self-consciousness to those elements, then you see reflection on those elements of yourself and you see it's real. You look at the mirror, is it live? Not really. Can you touch? Can you smell it? Can you interact? But there is some kind of resemblance. So therefore we think that those senses, they are actually me. And because they're running for sense gratification, I have life. It's not life, it's just senses attracting to objects, and that's it. And you're sitting inside and you think, oh, I'm living. I'm living, This is passion, without understanding. That's senses. One should not cater to these demands which are not necessarily. The senses should only be gratified to keep body fit, so that one can discharge his duty, number 1, his duty, in advancing the spiritual life. So this is duty. All other duties are not duties. Duty of spiritual life is real duty. The most important and uncontrollable sense is tongue. There was one cow on a parikrama path. You go there and just behind the Goshala there is one cow. Have you seen that one? No? You should go sometimes. She's standing there for, I don't know, last year. He's just standing, tongue goes everywhere, There's just everywhere, all the face is wet like that. Uncontrolled tongue. You should put that in a video and put it somewhere as a perfect example. If one cannot control the tongue, then there every possibility of controlling other senses. There's no possibility. The function of the tongue is to taste and to vibrate to the thing. Therefore, by systematic regulation, the tongue should be always engaged in tasting of remnants of foods offered to Krishna and chanting Hare Krishna. As far as eyes are concerned, they should not be allowed to see anything but the beautiful form of Krishna. That's heavy. Can we do that? We should not try to see anything but the beautiful form of Krishna. Why the universal form was shown? This is part of Krishna. So we should meditate how Arjuna was seeing all this world. And he's seeing that was beautiful. Was dangerous. Was the whole eyes and the nose and the fiery thing, but still it was beautiful. It was scary, but more beautiful the material world, because that was huge distress. So I should be seeing form of Krishna, or those qualities which are in Krishna are a little bit represented in the other beings. Everything has a quality of Krishna. You look at this column. From your this one in the middle. It's a quality of Krishna. It supports something. Krishna is supporter, We chant in the Gayatri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is supporting everyone, right? So this column is supporting. Actually, when we see the whole material world, qualities in Krishna, we're starting to see Krishna's beautiful form everywhere. So this is hard part. 5 minutes left. We have still 1/4, I guess. You can go. Anytime if you feel you have to go, you can go. I was planning to have 2-hour class, by the way. Now, surprise. 5 verses, usually give 1 verse, 1 hour, right? 5 verses, 2 hours. It's a reasonable number, right? That will control the eyes. Similarly, the ears should be engaged in hearing about Krishna, and the nose in smelling flowers offered to Krishna. This is a process of devotional service. And it is understood there that Bhagavad-Gita is simply expounding the science of devotional service. Devotional service is main and sole objective. Unintelligent commentators in Bhagavad-Gita try to divert the mind of reader to other subjects. But there is no other subject in Bhagavad-Gita than devotional service. Even though this Krishna himself says these are the elements of knowledge. But because the part of Sambandhigana is devotional service, the question is how we apply it, how we use it. So that's why every knowledge is directly, indirectly devotional service. Number 11, false ego means accepting the body as oneself. When one understands, I don't have to read it, switch it off. The better, you can close eyes and just listen to the voice, It's the best experience. Like Christianity, what say? The sheep understand the voice of the shepherd. I'm not trying to be your shepherd, but the idea is, if you read Prabhupada, he's our shepherd, that's for sure, and you'll understand this is not stupid. This is real. This is real life, real understanding. Yes, when one understands that this body, that he is not this body and a spiritual soul, he comes to real ego. Ego is there. False ego is condemned, but real ego, not the real ego. In Vedic literature, Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 1.4.10 is stated, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, I am spirit, this I am, the sense of self, also exists in a liberated stage of self-realization. This sense of I am is ego, but with the sense I am applied to the false body, this is false ego. When the sense of self applied to reality, then it's real ego. There's some philosophers who say we should give up our ego, but we cannot give up our ego. Because ego means identity. We ought, of course, to give up false ego, identifying with the body. Understood? So if you accept, the old times, there was idea. If you meet some saintly person, whatever, even the normal logician, and if you discuss with him and he defeats you, what happens? You become his disciple. So therefore, if some philosophy defeats your mind, understand, you come to reality, you become disciple. You become the follower of Prabhupada, like this one. So therefore, you have to understand, you're not this body, and from this day on, you act as a spiritual soul. It's not easy, but this is a science called anvikshiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, I think, gives the science of difference between body and soul. So this science we have to learn. We look at him and you don't see the body. You see crazy eyes. You see the soul. You see the difference. You see those 24 elements. You count them. And you see, oh, that's not him. That's not him. He's not the body. He's not skin. He's not khoti. He's not glasses. He's not man. Okay, oh, here he is. Yeah, that's him. That's soul. Finally, you have to read those things, understand what's the difference between each other. One should try to understand this stress of accepting birth, death, old age, and disease. There is no description of various. There are descriptions of various Vedic literatures of birth. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the world of unborn, a child's stay in a womb of the mother, it's suffering. All the worms eating and pushing. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You do? Yeah, that the thing is because many times our mind is willingly forgetting the bad experiences so we can enjoy life. It's very graphically described. It should be thoroughly understood that the birth is distressful because we forget how much distress we have to suffer in the womb of the mother. We do not make any solution on the repetition of birth or death. Similarly, at time of death, there is also a kind of suffering, and they are also mentioned in authoritative scriptures. I think this is much more easier because not that many people allowed to see the birth of the child. Mothers do, and those who are mothers, they have to go through the thing. If you are an unmarried woman for all life, you're missing something. You didn't have a proper lesson. That this is something, you didn't. Yeah, remember, you forgot your own birth, and you didn't give the birth to the child, so you're missing a lesson. It's like you're not applying for Bhakti Shastri. You're missing a life. You have to get married, you have to get child, and then you understand. And the husband, he doesn't look because it's terrible. It's like really nasty, blood and screaming and everything. But screaming you had here. It's the same house. He has to hear how his wife is screaming, not in ecstasy, but in pain. He thinks, she needs one more child or not? Probably not. I don't know, make my wife suffer so much anymore. Now, where did he stop? Okay, diseases should be discussed. As far as disease and old age are concerned, everybody gets practical experience. No one wants to be diseased. And no one wants to become old. And there is no avoiding of these. Unless we have a pessimistic view on these material life, considering the stress of birth, death, old age, disease, there is no impetus for making advance in spiritual life. Yeah, in some stage this is very strong pushing. I have to get out of there. So this is liberation. In some stage this is extremely good. And in Vedic literature it advertises you have to get out. Liberation is only your solution. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Moksha is a goal of life. Not Dharma, not Artha. Moksha. And then later on, when we kind of accept the whole idea of moksha, then real moksha is mukunda. He gives a mukunda. And the real meaning of mukunda, who knows?
Mukunda, who gives liberation.
Vrindavan translation. Do you know the flower kunda?
Oh, yes.
Kunda flower. Mukha kunda. His face, his smile is like kunda flower. And the even deeper meaning is dvandva. When you have an echo, Srimad Bhagavatam is 1 echo, 2 echo, 3 echoes. The kunda flower is usually used for decorating the wedding ceremony. So it's even more deeper hint. When you say mukunda, we don't think of liberation, we think his smile, his teeth is like white as kunda flower. And it's also a hint about Madhurya Ras. Everything can be translated in Vrindavan style. Just have to look for it. As far as the detachment, number 13, from children, wife and home, 14. It's not meant that one should have no feelings for those. Yeah, we have to feel for wife, for children. But naturally, these are objects of affection. But when they are not favorable to spiritual progress, then should be not attached to them. The best process of making the home is pleasant for Krishna consciousness. You make a temple in your home. If one is full of Krishna consciousness, he makes his home very happy, because this process of consciousness is very easy. One need only chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Accept remnants of foods offered to Krishna, have some discussion on books like Bhagavad-Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and engage oneself in deity worship. Home grihastha deity worship is necessary. This is minimum. And gradually you come to temple and understand that this is real deity worship. That what I'm doing at home is not really. It's just poor imitation. Anyways, these 4 things we will make one happy. One should train the members of his family in this way. The family members can sit down morning and evening and chant together Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If one could mold his family life in this way to develop Krishna consciousness following these 4 principles, then there is no need of changing a family life to the renounced life. That's a beauty, right? That's very encouraging for householders. But if it is not congenial, not favorable to spiritual advance, then the family should be abandoned. Abandoned, not just like distanced, but abandoned completely. At one stage we understand, even if understanding that you are my life, my wife, usually say, you're my life, you're my wife, or you're my children, is already, you identify them with body. Who was the Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Or was one of the acharyas? He had his own family accept him as a spiritual master. They were their sons, but the children accepted him as guru as well. So he gave straight away to their children, to his children, he gave to initiation as well. So they become twice born properly. So accepting your guru as your father as a guru is a perfect situation. Yeah, exactly. That's verse. So you shouldn't try. You have to be able. If they don't accept you, that's their fault, but you have to be ready to be guru of your children. One must sacrifice everything to realize